Wrestling friends to another edition of Smarknado. I'm your host, Eric Druckman. With me, as always, the dirty Danaconda, Dan Sesnit. Dan, how are you today? I like your hairstyle.
Yeah, my wife said I look like a pirate. That's cool. But I'm doing good, man. I'm tired. The kid's been here for a week now, and I don't sleep much these days. But it gives me a lot of time to watch a lot of old wrestling, which and by old I mean early AEW pay-per-views, which I've been fucking
Yeah,
hooked on lately. It's wild to see some of the shit, particularly in the pandemic era. So it's I highly advise everybody to go back and just watch the pay-per-views from the beginning and see the impact some of the earlier stars had, and the evolution of guys like Hangman is just wild.
yeah, and someone you mentioned earlier because you were in the group chat talking about what you were watching. I think that during the pandemic, the first guy that really comes to mind is Brody Lee,
Yeah,
because like you could make an argument that that was his best run in wrestling.
yeah,
And that happened during the pandemic, and
yeah,
that was just such a treat to watch, and just such a horrible tragedy that was cut short,
yeah.
and we weren't able to see the full potential of what was to be. But I think that early AEW is really some inspiring shit,
I,
and it reminds you of how good they can be when they have everything going, and we see a lot of that today. But
mhm.
there certainly was like a certain spark in them when AEW first began, especially considering what was the competition and what the other product was putting out, just to kind of set yourself apart and just being that standard of wrestling.
Well, that's when AEW has been the best and is the best, is when they're not focusing on what WWE is doing. They're doing their own thing, and um, I mean, creatively, I think that they're at a high point right now.
I think so too.
Personally,
I
and
think I don't know if you heard, but the biggest change that they have made recently is that they have production meetings.
which is baffling that they didn't already,
Yeah, I
right?
know. Yeah, right.
It's still like, new companies have growing pains, and I think that they've gotten through a good chunk of them, and
Mhm.
they had to learn the hard way, and I think that they're on the right track now. I'm not a ratings guy, but I know that the ratings are staying steady slash rising. Of
Yeah, yeah, and I've also heard that like the storylines kind of have a checks and balances from a lot of different eyes. So it's not just Tony just booking things because he wants to see the match most of the
I
time.
also
But it's
I also think that they're more outlined than they used to be. I
yeah,
think he's got a vision, and the vision is becoming clear. I mean, I wouldn't say clear as far as like creatively what we're gonna know now, but I see the it's not a fly by your seat of the pants booking anymore.
no, no, absolutely not. They're actually
Everything.
putting a
Thank
lot of thought into stuff, and the stories are pretty layered, and they make sense, and there's cohesion, and it's just like a lot of good that's going on. And that begs the question: has WWE taken notice of that? Have they seen that AEW has been building up this momentum, and coming out of what Dave Meltzer said in his report, are they the ones that are like, oh shit, they're actually going to gain up on us? Let's make these really petty moves and try to put them out, and let's try to put in a company that we can actually control, TNA, and have them be, centered as the number two.
like let's let's be realistic here, and I don't think this is even coming from a place of WWE hate. But is there anybody in the wrestling sphere, in the world of wrestling, that thinks TNA is actual competition for AEW?
The internet is a very vast place of very varying opinions, and some of these opinions are really fucking stupid. So I would be lying to you if I said I didn't come across anyone out there commenting that has said that TNA is better than AEW or AEW. It's kind of unbelievable.
Like, listen, like there's things about TNA I've liked in the past. I had a blast going to the TNA pay-per-view with you guys like
Mhm.
a few years back. That was so much fun, but like their product is not network TV worthy. It's not good right now.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just saying it's I just don't see it as a viable threat. And if NXT had to tuck tail and run against AEW, then what makes you think that TNA is better when TNA is just a backwater company at this point with NXT champions?
Well, I know what they're going to try to do to try to get TNA in competition with AEW. They're going to have AJ Styles do some shots for them to
Sure.
go in direct competition with AEW. But to say that that is going to put them on this with the same level of eyes as AEW, I think is incorrect. And
I don't think they're going to do anything entertaining with AJ Styles.
I'm not saying that TNA, if given like a year and a half, 2 years, and you build, it could possibly get to the level of AEW. I'm just and you know that anything could happen within that time period. AEW could, lose a little bit of the ball and kind of get complacent.
How
Whatever.
how long do we have to constantly say if TNA does this, they could be big? I feel like that's the same fucking
That's the same thing we've been saying for a while. But if you're
for years.
yeah, and if you're asking me about what TNA's problem is, I honestly think it's not the talent; it's the fact that they push the wrong talent. I think that there are some talent in that company that do not get the play that they deserve. That I think can become big time players for them. That they don't really give the time or day to. And
They're creatively stunted.
yeah, I mean,
And I
like
don't.
even someone like Mustafa Ali, I think he should be a main eventer.
But Mustafa Ali but to not put the championship on Santana in New York City
Santana, yeah.
was a horrifyingly dumb move. I don't know. It's bad.
It's they just make really dumb. That's always been TNA's problem. Is it's never been the talent. It's always just been really poor decision making. And will WWE make a difference in that? Are they going to put in some people to like book TNA so it's like a more palatable product to go up against AEW? Maybe.
No,
but just
if,
like
if they possibly get this like done and they say okay TNA is going to be on Wednesday nights, they get them a TV deal. What they're going to do is for 2 weeks they're going to dump a bunch of big names on there, and then the fucking ratings are going to fall off a cliff.
You're
it's
right.
The same fucking thing they did with NXT.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Right.
Like,
history will tell us that is the strategy that they've gone with most of the time, and like they have these stars that are on there, but they don't. Yeah, it's
they
not
can pop a rating, but it does no favors to building talent. It does no favors to the current roster. It does no favors whatsoever.
No, definitely not. And it's just so interesting. Like they were also talking about John Cena's last match going up head to head with World's End, like wanting to do that on purpose. They like it's so weird. If this is in fact true, it's weird seeing that like Nick Khan has made it a mission to like see to it that AEW fails.
But like I don't think they realize the dedication of AEW fans. AEW fans are not WWE fans. Like I don't think they realize that it's just not going to work.
And not only that, Dan, but I think they also are short-sighted on the fact that a lot of people that have been turned off by WWE lately are facing a moral dilemma in watching their programming. It doesn't help that the actual storylines have sucked and shit like that. But like a lot of the reason why people have departed is because you shouldn't have a moral dilemma watching professional wrestling, and
which is a crazy thing to say because there's a lot of fucking loose morals in the industry.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So like, he's not putting that into consideration either. And again, probably the biggest criticism that AEW has had over the past like 5 years of its existence that come from people is like they need to get WWE out of their head. They have to stop, you know, talking about the competition or like referring to the competition and all that. And I see this report and I'm just like, wait a minute. Um, AEW has completely stopped getting WWE out of their head, and now AEW is in WWE's head.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
and
think there's always been a space that AEW is rented in the heads of higher ups at WWE, just because they are the most viable competition that's existed since WCW.
yeah. But I also feel at the same time, and I think it's the spirit of capitalism, which is just a fucking horrible, horrible thing in this country, unfortunately. Um, but WWE is just so big at this point that they shouldn't even fucking bother with what AEW is doing. Like they have their core audience, they have them in the palm of their hand.
I've used the old
But
adage,
it's
they're too big to fail. Like
yeah,
their fans they're never going to do any wrong in the eyes of their fan base.
no,
Um, and that's I think that's the difference between the WWE fan base and the AEW fan base is that we as an AEW hardcore fan base are highly critical when they aren't doing things that seem logical or not,
right.
necessarily pushing who needs to be pushed. But
Mhm.
um, I mean, the Brock Lesnar thing has just been a huge eye-opening thing because people were just like, nope, fuck it, doesn't matter,
Yeah,
and that's their fan base, and that's unfortunate.
yeah, man. And I'm exhausted with everything that WWE does. Like WWE and their pettiness and shittiness is almost like emblematic of what we see in America every day with like the conduct of our president. You know,
Yeah,
it's just like of that same level of like egregiousness. Of,
regardless of their political alignings,
yeah,
WWE fans, the WWE universe are very akin to MAGA
yeah, and
in their blind trust.
I also want to get something else off my chest. I think I've said it before, but I've just lost a lot of respect for John Cena.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah. So
He, first of all, I think he was a big part of Brock coming back.
he says he wasn't, but I tend to agree with you.
And then, second of all, if the reports are true that he wants Vince McMahon on WWE programming, he's completely lost me forever. And I think that he is doing some fucking legacy damaging shit during this run. This fucking heel turn. If you talk to us, what was it that happened 6 months ago? If we talked to us 6 months ago after Elimination Chamber happened, at least between you and me, maybe you weren't as like enthusiastic about WWE at the time as I was, but like
Yeah.
I think we were generally like, "Ooh, this is cool, this is fresh, this is
Yeah.
exciting." With this John Cena heel turn, like what's going to happen here?
Absolutely.
And you know, I guess a big part of that, which is just like, why the fuck is he such an instrumental part of this story? I'm talking about Travis Scott. Like you're figuring in Travis Scott into this John Cena storyline, and apparently he is so instrumental to this storyline, and he's not even a wrestler, that they decide to just kind of throw this whole fucking heel turn out the window. And then they go to the fans, and then John Cena's basically just like, I was just kidding. We're good now. And the fans just accept it. And it was such a fucking joke, man. And I think he has to realize how fucking stupid that was. There's no way he's this fucking stupid to be like, oh well, you know, it's a good thing that I just changed like this. But
stupid, maybe not, but arrogant enough to believe he can pull it off. I would say so.
yeah, Yeah,
But he
and
did. But he did because just like you said, and just like I said, they're a fucking cult, and they're like, "Woohoo, Cena's back!"
right.
Like the quickest heel run in the history of heel turns. Maybe the Big Show is the only one that ever did it faster.
Yeah, Big Show's probably done it faster a few times.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I'm lost on John Cena, and that's not to say that his match with Cody at SummerSlam was great.
It was
I give them all the credit in the world for the match that they put on, but in terms of somebody who I always kind of hated, I hated his wrestling character, I hated his wrestling style. I always really respected John Cena as a dude, and I feel like I'm not. But when this is all said and done, this whole run is done with. I feel like I'm either not going to respect him as a dude at all anymore, or I'm going to lose a significant amount of it.
It's not headed in the right direction, and if that is an accurate report that he wants Vince McMahon back, that's legacy ruining.
Yeah, like he can go fuck himself if he does that. As far as I'm concerned, yeah. So getting that off our chest right there. I think another relevant thing for us to talk about is what's happening with Karrion Kross right now. He has apparently him and Scarlett were released on Saturday. At least that's the report. There's a lot of ambiguity to the situation, whether it's a work, whether it's a shoot. He put out some 1 hour explanation of his WWE situation. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really care about the situation enough for me to like dive into like his documentary and really I've never really given that much of a fuck about Karrion Kross. And if that upsets people, I'm sorry. But
I don't have an hour to watch him complain about his booking. I have other things to do with my life.
yeah.
But what I'll say is to those that hashtag we want Cross, I'll just say why. Like, I don't care that you want him, but like, what is it that is like all of a sudden you want him or whatever the years have been? I don't care, but like, what is it about him? I liked Cross's NXT run. I really, truly did. I thought he was a good character and it worked well, but he got to the main roster and got fucked up. This shit happens. The same thing happened with Aleister Black. Like, he got to the main roster, shit got fucked up. Like, it just happens. At the time at NXT was just banging out fucking top-notch characters, and that's what it was. His new shtick, it's not really for me. I don't care. I'm not like bashing the dude, and I don't ever want to see anybody lose their job. Like, well, that's not true. I'd like to see Brock Lesnar lose his job, but you know, in this situation, I don't want to see him lose his job, and I'm sure he'll be fine if whatever. But to me, it seemed a little bit silly on WWE's part, especially if you want TNA to be a strong brand. Like, that guy could be a really strong anchor for that brand.
Yeah. 100%. And who knows if he's actually going to go there too. I mean, like he might. But I agree with you, Dan. I'm not really into the current character that he has. I feel like it's kind of gone the way of the fall of Bray Wyatt when we saw him, first coming out of the main roster. It was really hot. Obviously, WWE's own booking is the reason why Bray Wyatt kind of failed the first time around. But after a while,
still should have been the dude to beat the Undertaker, but
100%. But like the promos that like Bray Wyatt had then compared to Karrion Kross now are kind of like meandering and like weird and just kind of lose me and don't really engage me that much. When in contrast, you brought up his NXT character. That was something that I was really into because he was like psychotic. He had the shaved head. He had that really fucking psycho face. Like he was just somebody that like you did not want to fuck with whatsoever.
The awesome entrance.
Yeah. And then like, when he kind of changed up his look and changed up his whole vibe on the main roster, I just feel like he just became another guy.
Yeah.
And a lot of that aura was gone. So regardless of our feelings on Karrion Kross, I could easily see this being a work also.
Maybe.
You think so? Like I could see him showing up eventually and like, I don't know, attacking John Cena or something.
I don't know, man. I don't know where it's going to go. If, I know he's already got a bunch of bookings like for like outside like cons and shit like
Oh,
that I've
cons.
seen,
Okay.
but
So no,
you know,
no indie bookings.
no indie bookings. But I mean, that dude could tear the fucking indies up if he wanted to, sort of go back to that badass character he is.
Hmm.
Especially with the jujitsu background, like he was good in
Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
Yeah.
I thought he put on a really great performance, and I think that he could be a strong character anywhere. Maybe at first I wasn't really sold on him as a AEW wrestler, but maybe he could fill that creepy void that that Malachi left behind.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We shall see, sir.
And for the record, Scarlett can wrestle too, so having her as an addition to the women's roster would be good too.
I'm gonna be honest. I can't remember the last time I saw her wrestle.
She can.
I know she can. She used to be on like the Ring of Honor women's roster.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember the last time I've ever seen her wrestle. Not saying she can't, but
Yeah.
no, they just kept making a point to say that she's a wrestler. She wants to wrestle, so
Yeah.
All right, so getting all that out of the way, let's talk about some stuff that we actually do watch this week's Dynamite. Dan, do you want to take this away?
Oh man, you're gonna make me pull up the results. Yeah, I can do it. Give me one second.
You don't have it up?
No, I didn't pull it up. I was going from memory.
I thought you did. Okay.
That's all right. I can find it. There we go. Bear with me, everybody. Appreciate it. All right. So we kicked off the show with a MJF Hangman Page face to face, where they could not have any physicality, or else they would be fined 6 figures, according to Tony Schiavone. So this was as good as you would expect it to be. MJF sort of did his thing and said a lot of the same stuff, and Hangman called him a dumbass and said that Seabiscuit won, and I thought it was a good way to goad MJF into signing his contract, and I think it's going to be a good match at Forbidden Door.
Me too. And I was a little hesitant at first about Max being the first challenger for Hangman. I was thinking maybe that's something that they should save a little bit more down the line. But I like the angle of MJF saying to Hangman, like, you're going to lose on your first defense. That's how you're going to be remembered, And yeah, I thought that this back and forth was excellent. Both these guys are just phenomenal promos. And the more I see Hangman with his promos, just the fire that he has behind him. God, he has just like one of the best like babyface rally promos in the business, to really get people excited. He knows how to sell the fucking match.
He really isn't a guy that you look to as a great promo either. And he always delivers. And I don't know why
he's passion. It's the fire, man.
Yeah, it's every time. All right, so the contract is executed. I wish it was a New Japan guy going against Hangman. I wish that they had a way to build that up, especially for Forbidden Door. But it's going to be a really good main event.
I think that the thought process of how they can have MJF in this match is they can advertise him as the CMLL heavyweight champion.
I think it's like the middleweight championship or some shit that he won anyway. It's not like the world championship.
It's not the world championship? I thought it was.
No, he renamed it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's some random ass belt that they have. It's not their world championship.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the main championship. I am mistaken.
No. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that similar to the way that he renamed the international title, I think he just renamed this one to make him seem better.
I guess I just assumed that he would win the main title that they have.
You would think so. You would think so, but yeah. All right, so next up we had Jon Moxley versus Kevin Knight. I guess, this was another great match. Jet Speed. Kevin Knight is an absolute star. He's going to be a future singles, star. Even though I love Speedball, I just think Kevin Knight's got a little bit more to be in the main event picture eventually.
The natural charisma.
Yeah, absolutely. And athletic ability. I mean, he's not a slouch. He's a fantastic wrestler.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So what this happened to come to was the Osprey run in.
Yeah, he made the save for Darby because Darby was just getting fucking wasted.
Yes.
And I mean, I had to laugh at Claudio putting him in the body bag and then doing the UFO. That was like, crazy.
I thought he was going to break his fucking neck. I was like, this dude the probability that Darby dies in the ring is too high for my liking, but it is what it is. It's not like we're going to be able to stop him. Do your thing, Darby. But Osprey challenges the Death Riders to a lights out steel cage match. I don't know if you've happened to see who's going to be in said steel cage match.
Yes. Do you have the whole lineup?
I don't have it right here in front of me, but I'm going to do it off the top of my head. It's going to be Kenny, Kota, Tanahashi
in a cage match.
Spaghetti Knees Tanahashi, Darby and Will Ospreay.
Mm-hmm.
Those 5 versus the Claudio, Mox,
Gabe Kidd,
Wheeler, and I'm drawing a blank on the 5th member of Mox's team, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't know how I feel about a cage match. I feel like they should have just done blood and guts, or they should have just done a Anarchy in the Arena or something to that effect. Like a lights out steel cage match, 10 people in one steel cage. How is that going to work? I don't get it.
I think is it going to be 2 rings?
Is it? I don't know.
We'll see about that.
We shall see. All right.
Because if it's 2 rings, then it can work.
But it's a lights out match. I don't know. I feel like
it doesn't mean the lights are out when you're watching it. We'll be able to see what's going on.
I understand, but why would you put an extra ring in for a lights out match?
That's unsanctioned.
Oh,
well, sometimes you can't apply a logic.
Sometimes I like to try. So,
yeah. I was having this conversation today with Rob. We were talking about the new King of the Hill, and he was just talking about like the timeline inconsistencies of like when they were in Saudi Arabia. And I was like, if you fucking think about that stuff when watching the show, it's going to drive you crazy. You just need to fucking sit back and enjoy it. And that's the same thing with wrestling. Sometimes, although there are some details that, you can't insult the intelligence of the viewer.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, if you know what I mean. But all right, next up we had a match between Alex Windsor, Queen Amanada, and Willow versus Mercedes Moné, Thekla, and Sky Blue. I just love these all-star and trios matches coming from the women's division every single week. It's like they deserve that just as much as they do it with the men, and every week they seem to just be putting on fucking humper after humper, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a great way to get all the women on the show and all the women to get their shit in, so to speak.
Yeah.
And these are all women who deserve to have eyes on them for their amazing talents. And yeah, to that point, I think the pairing of Toni Storm with Alex Windsor has really benefited Alex Windsor, and the fans are kind of naturally getting behind her now.
Yeah.
And like you're starting to notice what a great like solid ring worker she is.
Mm-hmm.
And Thekla, of course, I think that her added to the duo of Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Such a fucking good move. I think we're going to get used to the trio name, but it just seeing the three of them together, that it's just like, holy fuck, that is a fucking awesome trio right there.
It absolutely works.
Money.
And like I said, women need factions, women need trios, women need more time. I think that this is part of the reason why AEW is shining right now is because that women's division is as strong as it is.
Yeah. I also want to say that just reading the line that Tony Storm said to Monet, and she goes, "I hope you're wearing something underneath your kilts because we're gonna bareback all over Glasgow."
She's a quote machine. She
is. I think she's the funniest wrestler going today because, honest to God, she always says something that makes me laugh out loud and like takes me out of it for a little bit. But that's a good thing, you know. Like she's phenomenal. She's timeless.
Timeless. Yeah. She's timeless. All right. Next up, we had a backstage segment with Will Ospreay.
Says he's gonna get a handicap man in the match with him.
He's gonna get Hiroshi Tanahashi, the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling, to join his team. I think that this is a huge fucking mistake.
I think so too.
I'm sorry. I don't want to see Tanahashi wrestle. He didn't need to be in the G1. He doesn't need to be doing this match. Like, I get it's Forbidden Door, and I get it's the last Forbidden Door he's going to do, but, like, come on, man.
Dan, I foresee a lot of, like, naps.
Oh, he's
age. I foresee him doing some headlocks and just kind of hanging out and grabbing a brother and walking him for a while. Yeah. And, you know, it's going to be his time, and he's going to do his own 5 moves of doom, you know, the sling blades, and he's going to do the high fly flow.
Off the top of the cage, hopefully.
Oh, my God. He dies if that happens.
Imagine Darby convinces him to do it and just murders Tanahashi.
Yeah, and what it takes for him to do it is he says to Tanahashi, he was like, "I know you're a legend, but I didn't know you were a pussy." He's like, "I am no pussy.
I'm no pussy."
All right, getting a little off the rails. That was my fault.
That was vaguely racist. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, that was my fault too.
All right, next up we had Cope versus Stokely, match of the night.
Yes. Did we mention it on the last show? Just how Stokely's promo last week may have been promo of the year. I think we taped the show last week before Dynamite came out.
I think we did tape the show before Dynamite came out last week because we did it on Wednesday before the show, and we didn't get to mention that promo, which was the legendary no hose promo, as they call it now.
Do you remember the line exactly?
I'm short, I'm bald, and I don't get any hose. I'm short, I'm bald, and I got no hose. So that is, you know, it was legendary. Promo of the year in my mind so far, and I'm comfortable saying that.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets the most emotion out of you, any emotion it might be, I think you have a case for it being promo of the year.
I laughed harder than I've done for anybody else's promo this year.
Dude, I howled so loud when he said that I could have waken up the neighbors.
Fucking dead. But at the end of this match, we had the reuniting of Edge and Christian, or as they'll be known, Cope and Christian Cage. I think that they end up going on a title run, man, because I think FTR ends up winning the titles, and then they end up winning the titles from FTR in quick succession.
I think they do too. I kind of like how this is a little bit of a slow burn. Like, Christian came out to make the save and everything, but he's not like fully like aligned with Copeland. You know, there's still some apprehension there, and I like that we're eventually going to get like the full embrace this was kind of like the half embrace, you know?
Yeah, it's gonna take a little bit more time, but that'll give FTR some time to have a tag team title run.
Yeah, and do things to give them a reason to team up again, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, this was an awesome moment that we're always going to remember, you know? Shit. Just a little sidebar, though. Doesn't Cope and Christian... It sounds kind of weird. I actually think that Cage and Copeland sounds better.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does.
But we already have... He's Cope now.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. But I'm just so happy that they're back together, and obviously that was such a huge moment. It got such a big pop, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we had Brody King versus Ishii, or I'm sorry, Brody King, Ishii in a hologram, and Kyle Fletcher's opponent at Forbidden Door, Hiromu Takahashi, which is I'll say it right now, is going to be candidate for match of the night.
Yeah.
I think that Takahashi is pound for pound one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't think he gets enough credit. Especially on U.S. soil. So I hope that he just goes out there and fucking shows people what he's made of. It's not U.S. soil, but, you know, U.S. television.
Yes. I co-sign on that with you, Dan. Hiromu is fantastic. And he can put on a great match with just about anybody. And who better to put him in there with somebody who has had some match of the year candidates this year in Kyle Fletcher.
You could argue Kyle Fletcher is wrestler of the year.
I think you could.
With his catalog this year.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it right off the top of my head, but somebody had put it up on Twitter, and my jaw dropped at just his catalog from this year alone. Yeah. Maybe even in the last 3 months. Just the amount of just absolutely
wrestled everyone.
Yeah, everyone, and everyone well. So
yeah.
Yes. But anyway, that match was against the Young Bucks, Kyle Fletcher and Josh Alexander. A fun trios match.
We got to see Mr. Instant Replay and Slick Nick. Once again, fucking with the Young Bucks' entrance. And unfortunately, we saw the death of Justin Roberts in this match.
Yeah, he doesn't live anymore.
Yes. My God, that was a stiff super kick that they both gave him. At least it looked that way.
They are the kings of super kicks. I would say theirs look the best in the business. And yeah, he might have caught a little bit of that one.
Yeah. So interesting to see where this is going to lead with the Bucks and AEW management, and I don't know what the blow off is going to be with that exactly, but it's entertaining how they're approaching the entrances.
It's very similar. It reminds me of Baron Corbin's bum run.
Oh yeah,
which was again a really good run for him. A little bit underrated, but I like the down on the luck wrestler angle and them just feeling disrespected and getting disrespected. I think it works because they're even doing it with their merch too. So I don't know, they're going all the way with it. So good for them.
Hiromu got the Duke here though over Josh Alexander.
Yep.
With the time bomb.
Yep.
And really looking. I would like to see Hiromu kind of have an Ishii like feel in AEW. Like I would like him to be involved in AEW a little bit more similar to Ishii's involvement.
I saw this argument again because I spend a lot of time on Twitter because my kids don't do shit but yell at me. Do you think that AEW has the roster for a junior heavyweight division?
Yeah.
If they pulled from Ring of Honor, if they pulled maybe a few names from the Indies, maybe a few names from New Japan, to do something like a Best of the Super Juniors tournament?
Yeah, I do. I don't know. I think that would only be appropriate for them to do if it's like 100% official that the what's Okada's current title? What are they calling it? The unified title.
Champion. Yeah.
Is that going to stay as just one title, or are they retiring those two championships?
It's hard to tell because they're walking around with all three belts still.
Yeah. So if they actually get rid of those belts, I think that it would be appropriate for them to add the junior heavyweight title.
Okay.
But if they
yeah.
keep those championships, I think it's probably better off you just kind of maybe have an IWGP. The IWGP champion could be defending the title in the tournament, or the junior heavyweight champion. I mean, just my thoughts. A lot of championships muddies the waters a bit. Plus, you got like the Ring of Honor titles too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we had Swerve addressing Okada. Just
you
always,
there, Dan?
Yeah. Swerve is. What was your thoughts on this whole segment?
I mean, I liked it. Definitely just more of the same. I didn't mind it though, but I'm really looking forward to this match. I think that Swerve is looking for a 5-star Matt classic, and he just might get it. I think that a lot of Swerve's classic matches had some sort of hardcore element to it.
Yeah, the Hangman stuff.
Yeah, this is gonna be more straight up wrestling, and I think that we're gonna see some of the best wrestling out of Swerve in this match. And I think it's very possible that Okada loses. But
I think so too.
Also, I could easily see him retaining just because him being the unified champion is still kind of new.
Yeah, but he's had a run with that Continental crown for a really long time, so it could be. I mean, he doesn't really necessarily need a title, but he looks good with one. So we'll see. I think it will be one of Swerve's, top matches in his catalog once all is said and done.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Then we had the Ops versus LFI.
What a weird main event, brother. I was and I guess this is where I started to get critical of AEW for the night. And the night where like pretty much everything else went great. This was where I was just kind of questioning myself. Hey, wait a minute. Why isn't Samoa Joe seeking revenge on the Death Riders? They're the ones that took him out. Am I wrong? This is like his return match? Or unless he came back before this?
I mean, he came back at All In.
Yeah, but like he got injured and he's been out since that time because like they fucked up his neck. The Death Riders did.
Yeah.
So like this is his first appearance since then. Don't you think like Samoa Joe should have had some sort of fucking involvement in this Death Riders cage match?
Yeah, it would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my only criticism, really. Like that just popped in my head, and I was like, why is he just in this match that's happening just kind of for no reason other than it's the trios titles?
Yeah.
And he's not seeking revenge on the guys that try to like end his career.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I tend to agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. Other than that, and just weird placement of the main event, like I probably would have put. Just looking at this card, what else could have been the main event? I guess Moxley and Knight. It wasn't really that strong of a wrestling show now that I look at it, but it was an entertaining show.
I might have. It was a Dynamite, so I wouldn't have done this. But maybe if it was a Collision, I would have put the trios match with Hiromu and Fletcher as the main event, and then announced it at the end that they were wrestling. That's probably how I might have booked the show, but I mean, I was happy with it.
Yeah, I just think it was definitely a little bit of a weak. I say it's a weak main event because LFI hasn't really built up enough equity on TV to
I don't
really.
know, man. I think Roosh is
Yeah,
making his presence felt.
yeah, but not real. Like I haven't seen them as featured as often.
No, not
Some,
as often as, but like you said, it's the trio's main event, and they're a
yeah,
trio.
yeah,
So, they're a fully formed faction, so it makes sense for them to have that match. They should have had a better fleshed out main event. I agree.
yeah,
They just used the MJF attacking Hangman as their
yeah.
fade to black.
And in the grand scheme of things, it's a minor criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not too much. All right. Now that AEW's out of the way, I think that we should talk about the G1. I know we kind of lost a little bit of interest, got a little distracted, had life happen, haven't been able to really keep up with it as much as we'd like to. No doubt there's been some great matches, but we have the Final Four that's coming up. On Saturday is going to be the semis, and then on Sunday is going to be the finals. So, first semifinal match is going to be Evil against Yota Tsuji.
okay.
Not really happy that Evil's in this match. Not really happy that Evil is ever in a big match with stakes. But yeah, I think Yota Tsuji wins here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and then the second semifinal is ZSJ against Takeshita. Perfect world, man. I want Takeshita to win the whole thing. However, I don't think he does. I think that ZSJ takes this, and Takeshita. I just don't see them having like an AEW home-based guy winning the G1.
No,
Somebody
it
that's
doesn't
like
make a lot of
behind
sense.
him. Yeah.
But I also am not a fan of the G1 being won by the current champion, because the whole point of it is to build a program going into Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, exactly, and that's why I don't think I don't think ZSJ is going to win the whole thing. I think he's going to win this match against Takeshita, but Tsuji is going to beat ZSJ in the finals.
You think so?
I do.
Huh.
I do. What do you think?
I don't know. It's hard. I'm hard pressed to bet against ZSJ, but if you have the faith in Tsuji, I guess I could see it. But is that a match that we're going to ultimately want to see again at Wrestle Kingdom?
I think that they could put on a fucking banger. They put enough work into the match, leave the fans wanting more to see more. Yeah. I mean, it could be like. I think the way that you could book it is like Yota Tsuji barely squeaked by ZSJ and almost in a way like caught ZSJ real quick in a pin and ended up winning, but it was like an excellent match. And maybe with him winning that, and ZSJ is just like, you could never, do that again to me. I'm never going to allow you to do that again, and
do you think that Gabe Kidd's injury affected the plans big time? Do you think Kidd was supposed to be a major player in this tournament?
I do. I definitely think that he would be a major player. Who's Rickhouse, by the way?
I have no idea.
Somebody was looking at somebody was listening to our. Yeah,
somebody was watching.
Watching. He said AAA is the new TNA. Said it at 7:27. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what that means, but thanks for watching.
I appreciate the watching, but you know what? Yeah, I think AAA isn't fucking their big show going to be on YouTube?
Yeah.
At least that's free, right?
Yeah.
We get to watch something like that, see what it's all about. To be fair, I've never even watched their big shows before.
Yeah, me neither.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, just going back to the G1. Yeah, I think that Yota Tsuji wins it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, who do you think ZSJ wins it? I just don't see the champion winning it.
It's happened before, I think.
I know it has. It has with Okada, I believe.
Yeah. I could see it. I could see it happening again.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right, man. I think we've reached the end of the road
I think we're fresh out, and my 1-month-old is screaming his head off now. So I think it's time for me to go play dad.
Oh,
My,
Lincoln,
my shoot
my
job.
man, my man. All right, Dan. I'll let you get to the fatherly business. But as always, guys, follow us on Instagram at Smarknado, Twitter at Smarknado1. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, and go check out our QR code up here. All of our shit is right there. So really appreciate everyone coming and listening to the show every week. And what else do we have for you?
Man, like I said, I don't know if I said this earlier, but everybody deserves to go back on HBO Max and just watch old AEW. Man, it's really reviving me. It's bringing me back to a time that wrestling. I don't want to say it saved me, but I think it really lifted a lot of spirits during COVID and the pandemic,
Yeah.
and it's really fun to watch. But other than that, man, just stay fresh, cheese bags.